Okay, yeah.
Go. Right, first job you do, you put your template on your stone, you mark around. I've done it with a pencil. The reason I've done it with a pencil is it gives you a nice crisp line that you can work to when you're doing the router. And the first job you do is you core out the corners where there's the radius. You can either use a bigger core drill if it's got a bigger radius, or a smaller one if it's a smaller radius. But that's the first job you do. Then we'll move on to the next stage. Right, the next stage now is obviously we've got to remove this main section. I've got a flex tool with just a normal cutting wheel on it. And what I'll do is I'll just put it into that, keeping it a couple of them away from the edge, and then after that we can then put the router in and finish it to the entrance. Right, then we'll move on to the next stage. Okay, now we've removed the centre section. What we'll do now, we'll take the router and we'll router it to the line. As what I said earlier, if you give yourself a nice crisp line to work to, it's easier to actually get it accurate. That's what we'll do now. We've now removed the top, we've dressed to the edge round with a router. The next process is to actually polish the cutout, which I'll show you now. Cut! We've removed the top, we've gone round with the router roughly just to get our basic shape. What we're going to do now is we're going to put a 7-inch 60 grit on, and we're going to just dress round the straight parts of the cutout. Good.
Action.
Go. Right, what we've done, we've dressed the straight sides with the larger pad. What we're going to do now, we're going to do the internal radiuses. For that, we use a smaller pad, which has had the corners rubbed off it, so it enables you to tuck in into the radiuses. Cut. For that, we use a spray adhesive and a smaller flexible pad, safe pads, which are available at Marble Flooring Specialists. After we've gone round with the 120 grit with that pad, the same pad also we apply the shaft. Okay, now we've gone around with a 120 with that pad, we've done our small chamfer. It doesn't have to be too big, just to take the sharpness off. What we do then is put a 220 on and repeat the process. Right, first job, now we've actually finished our sink cutout. Next job is bring it down so it's flat on the sub base. We don't want to be doing it up on those aluminium angles. Then we mark out the actual line of the grooves. Always use a pencil on a lighter colour. If it's a darker colour, use a white crayon. The reason for that is you don't want to use masking tape, because what happens if you use masking tape and you put the groove in, the masking tape blocks up the groove on the wheel and it makes it difficult to put the groove in. But that's the first job. Cut. Okay. You've got all your grooves lined up, you put the track on the Festool track, and we use this machine to put the grooves in, which is the P1200E. And as you can see, when you open the guard, you can see we've modified a fluting wheel to fit the machine. We're actually going to get larger diameter wheels, which will make it a little bit easier, but just for the demonstration, we're using this wheel. And what we do, to get that wheel to go centre of that line, we measure 10 mil from the edge of there to the centre of there. And that will locate this wheel centre of that line. Cut. Okay, right. As you can see, all the grooves are now been cut into the stone. The next process will be to polishing, which we'll show you now. And what we do is we stick tape either side of the groove, and this is to enable it to be polished. And if there's any problems with the disc, it doesn't go onto the surface. It's protecting the surface once you polish it. Cut. Okay. To protect the sides, we just use regular masking tape, or you can use gaffer tape. It's entirely up to you. And what you do is you put it right on the edge of the cut. Right, the next process is to polish the groove. With that, we use the same backing pad as what we did when we did the internal radiuses. You put a pad on it and flap it over. That enables that pad to go to the contour of the groove.